love to share myself with my church family. It's just such a pleasure. But, you know, a lot of people always ask me, every time I get up in front of it just hasn't changed. Every time I get up in front of a group and I speak at church, I still picture all my little hoodlum friends from Jersey out there. Say, what on earth is going on? Dana is speaking at a church? I didn't even think he knew where a church was. But it's so fun to watch the evolution of consciousness and the evolution of life. So here you have an Italian guy from Jersey doing folk music and speaking at a Unity church. Some people may ask, how did that happen? It's the Witness Protection Program. They'll never find me here. So we're going to start this talk today with a question. Where you gonna be when the road is narrow and the nights are long? Where you gonna be when all you've got's this song? Where you gonna be when your house of cards just falls apart? Will you be standing in your head or in your heart? Are you gonna run? Are you gonna hide? Or will you be there to stand up in the night? Will you heed the call from deep inside? Will you stand up in the darkness for the light? That's the question. Everybody knows that the call is coming loud and clear. Some choose to pay attention, some don't hear. Everybody knows that the time has come to make a choice. It's time to stand up now, it's time to hear your voice. Are you gonna run? Are you gonna hide? Or will you be there to stand up in the night? Will you heed the call from deep inside? Will you stand up in the darkness for the light? Something's changed. It's rearranged. Oh, it's strange, 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 strange days. Are you gonna run? Are you gonna hide? Or will you be there to stand up in the night? Will you heed the call from deep inside? Will you stand up in the darkness for the light? Will you stand up in the darkness for the light? Will you stand up in the darkness for the light? Thank you. Thank you. So we got a lot of music playing today. I'm going to keep the guitar on because as I went through my talk, I realized there's a song for just about every piece of it. And sometimes the way music gets in the back door is so much easier than trying to knock on the front door. You know what I mean? So we're going to do a lot of music today. But I'm really, here we are, the Sunday after another mass murder, the biggest one in our history. And I just knew that that was an important topic for the day. I knew that that had to be addressed. And it's difficult. These are difficult times. They really are. And everybody can tell there's a quickening of that. That's where this song came from. Now, this song was written in 2006. I felt it then. But if you didn't feel it then, I can only imagine anyone that doesn't feel it now, because it's here. The time is now. The time is now. And the question is, and the name of the talk is, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? Because everyone is trying to grasp with that question. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? How do I make this happen? And, there's so many things happening so quickly. Can anybody even remember the name of the hurricane that devastated Houston? See, Aaron, here. Harvey, right. It feels like ancient history already. And these poor people are still just beginning the rebuilding. It's just fast and furious right now, so we need to know, what shall I do? But I realized as I was going through this talk and trying to figure out what is mine to do, I realized that mastery of life really comes down to asking the right questions. So that question just wasn't working for me because I went through a lot of different iterations of what is mine to do, and nothing felt right. So I just asked a different question. And the question is, who am I to be? Who am I to be? As opposed to, what am I to do? And that changed everything for me. And it made me realize that we're called human beings for a reason. We're not called human doings, right? We're here to be a certain way. We're here to shine our light, our individual light. And that can only come from being. So you can do whatever you want. But if you're not in the appropriate state of being, then those actions are not going to help. You can fight for peace. Think about that for a couple minutes while I take a sip. Think about that. You can fight for peace. Or you can be peace. Big distinction, right? Big difference. We sing it every week at the end of service. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. So how are we to share peace if we're not experiencing it ourselves? How are we to create peace? Through fighting. It doesn't work. So that's what this talk is about. It's about, who are we to be? How are we to be? So I came up with a few ideas. These are just mine. You may have your own, and we'll invite you to do your own talk sometime. But these are mine. So the first one that came to me is to be mindful and present in this moment. Okay? That's an important and yet very, very difficult thing to accomplish. Being mindful and being present in this moment. Can you feel this moment the minute I said that? Did you feel something change inside you? Did you feel your presence become more engaged? Because, newsflash, this is the only moment ever. This is it. The ones behind us are gone. The ones ahead of us are not here yet. So this is it. This is the moment. And I don't know about you, but I feel joy in this moment. I feel love in this room. And despite all the appearances out there, and despite what's going on around us in the world, we are here creating a moment of peace, a moment of joy. And that energy that we are sharing with the world matters, right? Black lives matter. White lives matter. Our energy matters. Everything matters. It especially matters who we are. It especially matters what we share with the world. Because I'll give you another news flash that most people don't realize. But I don't think people know that violent crimes are sharply down. Statistically speaking, from the late 70s, early 80s until now, they're down 50, 60%. Don't quote me on the number, but it's a big number. Does that shock you? Why is that? Why does that shock you? That's not what the computer said. That's not what they say. And I heard the word media. Because every piece of information you get, unless you get it directly from an individual, eyeball to eyeball, every piece of information you get from the world has gone through a filter with an agenda. Right? We know that. So there is a filter and an agenda. So let me just share with you this video. Of all people, Lady Gaga. I have liked her for many, many years, and I like her more and more every day. But I'd like you to see this video and just ponder what she's saying right now.
In times of chaos and crisis, what we all tend to do, right, is start pointing fingers at where we think the bad guys are, where the evil is. We all start arguing. Everybody has different opinions about that. Please do not forget that hatred or evil, whatever you want to call it, it's intelligent, it's smart, and it's invisible. It doesn't have a color, it doesn't have a race, it doesn't have a religion, it has no politics. It's an invisible snake that while it is planning to make its attack, it is thinking to itself, I am going to divide my enemy into smaller, less strong groups, and then I'm going to make them hate each other so that it's easier to take them down. And as we're all yelling at each other, trying to figure out which group it is that's causing the problem, evil's winning all around us. So we have to get rid of those labels. These different factions, gay, straight, rich, poor, mentally ill, not mentally ill, gun owner, not gun owner. None of this can matter anymore. We are unified in our humanity. And the only thing that we all know, we all appreciate in one another is kindness. So this has to come before all things, and you must operate relentlessly this way with everything you have. Forget about the money. When you talk to the people, go out and talk to the people. Look them in the eye. Speak to them. Mobilize the kids. They're smart. They're smart, and they believe because they are not yet jaded. They believe the world can change.
So I don't agree with everything she said. Not in the way she said it, but she got to the point. The point is that there are forces out there that are trying to divide people, right? And it seems to be working. She called it evil. That's where I take issue, right? We don't believe in evil. We know it's all God, right? So these are people that have lost their way. Just like there's no anti-son. There's just the Son. There's no Antichrist. It's just your relationship with Source is the only thing that matters. And there's only one source. And Lady Gaga's back at it. So that's the point. She made the point with kindness. And that is really what is ours to be kind. And these points that I'm making, all bring us to this kindness piece. Because it's really, really important that we don't allow all this divisive talk out there to get us really, really emotionally involved in these battles. Because I promise you, the minute you take a side, you're at war. It's war energy from the moment you take a side. Why? Because you're right and the other side's wrong. This was the talk I did last time. The minute you're right, there's got to be someone wrong, and you make it your mission to defeat them. Not to embrace them or live with them. You make it your mission to defeat them. And we're all guilty of it. Everyone, if you privately think to yourself, has one group of people that you swear this world would be better if they just disappeared. Right? So we're all contributing to that energy. So being mindful in this present moment is extremely important, because in this present moment, eyeball to eyeball, what I have seen is that most people are very, very kind and loving. That's what I see every day. And when I don't turn on the news, I begin to remember that that's the truth. And then you turn on the news and you see another insane, crazy murder. But, I understand how your heart goes out to these poor people in Las Vegas just at a country. We go to country concerts all the time. Could have been us, easily. But my heart goes out also to the 59 people shot and killed every day in Chicago, every month in Chicago. That happens month after month, and that won't end. Not on the agenda, guys. That's why you don't hear about it. Not on the agenda. So think about what you're taking in and think about what the agenda is, and have an agenda of your own. And that agenda is kindness. Kindness. Number 2, I will introduce with a song that you all know, and you're more than welcome to sing along. I am at peace right now, I am at one with my source. No time for fear right now, I'm happy on my course. I am love, I am love. I am whole, I am complete. I've got everything I need, I am enough. I release and I let go, I lay my troubles at your door. I've got everything I need, and each day I'm blessed with more. I am love, I am love. I am whole, I am complete. I've got everything I need, I am love. I am whole, I am complete. I've got everything I need, I am enough. I commit myself to you to be of service to your plan. Use me any way you like, I'll do anything I can. I am enough, I am enough. I am whole, I am complete. I've got everything I need, I am enough. I am whole, I am complete. I've got everything I need, I am enough. I am whole, I am complete. I've got everything I need, I am enough. Feel those words. Christine, you remember when I wrote that song? I don't remember, but I know it was about midnight, and you were doing the talk the next day, and you said, the talk is called I Am Enough. Would you write a song for me? And I'm like, it's midnight. And I wrote it, and I thought it was just going to be a quick little ditty that we never hear from again, and it turns out to be one of my favorites. So, very funny. So, I am enough. So what is step number 2 in all of this? If that song introduces the concept, I'll put it out to you. What am I trying to communicate now? Being kind to who? Thank you. Thank you. We're talking about kindness, right? So let me ask you a question. Okay. When you're angry at yourself, when you're frustrated with yourself, and you're talking to yourself, think about what that sounds like. Yes, it could be a little rough. Now think, would you choose that behavior and that kind of communication with you in another friend? Would you want a friend that talks to you the way you talk to yourself? That's the question. So if your head is shaking this way, then it's time to be a little kinder to yourself, right? Because how are we going to be kind in this world if the reality is when we're in our private little quarters and we're just alone with God and alone with ourselves, we're mean as hornets. Got to start with self-love. Have to. And it really has to start with the concept that I am enough. Because most people legitimately feel like they're not enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not smart enough. We could just keep going on and on and on. But guess what? You are enough. We're all enough. You remember the meditation? You remember that whole idea that there's billions of expressions of one God? This is you. This is your personal expression of God. Get to like it. Get to love it. Get to understand it. Get to appreciate it. Be nice. Be nice to yourselves. It's an important place to start. So now more than ever, we have to stay grounded. Almost broke my heart. My cousin Donnie he's so active on Facebook, and he was in the building at 9/11. So he was a liberal, and he was disillusioned and became conservative and disillusioned. In this recent shooting, he put something out there about, I've lost my faith completely in everyone, everything, God, and everything. And I know that's happening out there. That breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to know that these events, and it's not just the events, it's the description of the events that you're being given. It's the events that you are perceiving through this filter are contributing to people just completely losing faith in humanity. But it never fails. Every time there's a disaster, we see the worst of humanity, and then we see the best. Right? You always see the best. But the news is moving on to the next disaster and focusing on the worst again. Right? So just remember that. Every single time we see the worst in humanity, we also see the best. And know that as we're trying to be loving to ourselves, it's really important to do the self-care. Come to church. Now's the time to get recharged every week. Forgive yourself for anything that you may have done. Get in the mirror. Do the mirror work you need to do if you truly feel bad about yourself. Give yourself some kind thoughts. Be loving. Pretend that you're your best friend. Try that someday. My best friend is Joe. He'll always pick me up, right? Always pick me up. And so when I'm talking mean to myself, I say, yeah, all right, erase that. And I say, all right, how would Joe handle me right now? And it would be a very, very different situation. One of my hoodlum friends, by the way. He's cleaned up too. He's now the dean at Rutgers. Imagine that. So that is important. Self-care right now is crucially important, because if we can't keep ourselves grounded, if we can't maintain our faith, we're going to be of no help or no service to others. And again, it doesn't matter what we do at that point. If we've lost faith and we're not grounded and we've lost our connection with Spirit, it doesn't matter what march we do in D.C. We're bringing bad energy there. It doesn't matter what cause we get behind. It doesn't matter what political, things we try to accomplish. If we're not personally in a place to bring good energy and peace and love and self-love to a situation, we may as well just stay home, because you're not bringing a solution to wherever it is you're going. So the next topic, I'm also going to introduce with a song, and then I will ask you to figure out what it is. So pay attention.
Feel the ocean in your mind. I see the sunrise in your smile. I see the sky reflecting in your eyes. I see your light see the mountains in your curves. I see the river flow in your turns. I see the sky reflecting in your eyes. I see your light. I see your light. I see your light. Even when you don't see mine, I see your light. Even when you're in an ugly place, I choose to gently hold the space. I see the sky reflecting in your eyes. I see your light. And I remind you who you are. You are a bright and vibrant star. I see the sky reflecting in your eyes. I see your light. I see your light. I see your light. Even when you don't see mine, I see your light. I see your light. I see your light. Even when you don't see mine, I see your light. Yes, I choose to see your heaven. Well, I see through your hurt and pain. Yes, I choose to see your sunshine and not your rain. 'Cause I see your light. I see your light. Even when you don't see mine, I see your light. Why don't you guys join me? I see your light. I see your light. Even when you don't see mine, I see your light. I see your light. I see your light. Even when you don't see mine, I see your light.
And here's another twist.
Even when you don't see your own, I see your light.
Thank you. Thank you. So you knew there was going to be a little pop quiz after that one. What's this one all about? That's a good piece of it. But you're not alone in this song, are you? There's someone else, isn't there? So this is all about, remember, we're talking about being kind? These are real simple answers. Being kind to others. The first one was being kind to ourselves. And the second one is just simply being kind to others. And that's really easy when you're at a unity because we're all like-minded and we hug and we love each other and we play music and everything's beautiful, right? But we're being put to the test now. We're being put to the test now because one of Jesus' biggest lessons that he gave us was to love our enemies, right? Good luck with that, because I still don't know how to do that. But I know I'm going to try. And I know I've been trying a lot. Because we do know that when we send hate to our enemies, what happens? Thank you. It comes back like a boomerang. It emboldens them. It gives them more resolve. You see, everyone who's engaged in a fight needs an opponent. You can't have a fight by yourself. You just can't. Gandhi knew that. Jesus knew that. It's time for us to express that. The time is now, right? So we have to find a way to be kind to all others. Now, yeah, we could talk about extremes, like Hitler and the dude that killed everybody in Las Vegas. Those are extremes. And sure, that's going to test you. I'm just talking about everyday life. I go on Facebook these days, and it's just one big fight. And it's not a mass murderer versus, it's just, pretty much it boils down to liberals versus conservatives. Doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what race they are. It doesn't matter where they're from. Those are the two big buckets these days. And that's where this just constant battle is taking place every day. And it's not enough to just win your point. People are trying to humiliate each other as they do it. These are people, we're normal, everyday people, that are engaged in warfare every day in their private lives. That's war energy. It's I'm right, you're wrong, I want to win, and I want to humiliate you while I do it. That is awful energy. And we have to stop that, because we're the ones responsible for bringing peace in. If not this group of people, then who? But I will tell you that, unity is no big peace blanket that we can shroud ourselves in, because some of the meanest, most awful things I heard have come from unity people. Some of the most hateful things I've heard have come from unity ministers even. I've got 15,000 friends on Facebook and so many unity people across the way. And, this is not immunity here. Just because we're light and love. I think there was something going on this week, and I forget who was saying it. I try to just kind of stay a little detached, but, thoughts and prayers go to the victims, right? Thoughts and prayers go to the victims. And I'm hearing now, and I felt the same way. I was like, I couldn't just put out another thought and prayer message, because it just felt so hollow. Thoughts and prayers are not enough. Thoughts and prayers are important, but they're not enough. It's going to take more than that now. It's going to take the real hard work of finding a way to love our enemies. And, I think you'll find on the road to finding a way to love your enemy, I think what'll happen, I'm not there yet, but this is my prediction. I predict that as we journey down that road, we will change our definition of who they are. And we'll stop calling them enemy. And when you stop calling them enemy, it might be a little easier to shed some love on them. We know people are not evil. We know people are good. And we know that people aren't born evil. In fact, I'll prove it to you. I defy you to go to a nursery at Mary Washington Hospital and pick out the evil booger. Find the evil one. No, they're all good. They're perfect. There is nothing evil about any of these infants. But something happens along the way. Something happens along the way. And that something is usually so horrific that the expression of mass murder is the expression of the life that this individual must have led. It's an expression of what happened in their life to create this. So while you can't condone it, and you certainly have a hard time, the key is to understand that everyone was born divine, and those that are considered evil right now have just lost their way. So we have to take that song to heart. I see your light. Even when you don't see mine, I still see your light. And even when you don't see your own, I still see your light. That's an important way to be. Not a thing to do, just a way to be. So, we'll introduce the very last topic with a song, and there will be a quiz.
When the callous-hearted people cast their will upon the meek, when the hand of wrath came down on him, he turned the other cheek. When he willingly accepted what appeared to be defeat, he chose love. And when he laid his hands upon them, and the blind could finally see, through the power of intention, he could calm the raging seas. But the greatest gift he gave us was the power to be free, to choose love. He chose love, he chose love, coming through his heart from up above. Well, it's the only thing that ever really matters anyway. He chose love. When the wrecking ball swings down and dismantles all I've built, when the empire of my ego lies in ruins on the hill, and when the doctor's only orders is another bitter pill, I choose love. And when I look at my reflection and I don't like what I see, and when I realize the world out there is the world inside of me, and when the chaos tries to grip me and shatter my beliefs, I choose love. I choose love, I choose love, coming through my heart from up above. And it's the only thing that ever really matters anyway. I choose love. Love's white light is shining, makes all things new. I choose love, I choose love, coming through my heart from up above. And it's the only thing that ever really matters anyway. I choose love. Well, it's the only thing that ever really matters anyway. I choose love, I choose love, I choose love, I choose love.
Yep, that's it. So, what is the lesson? Oh, there we go. That one was pretty easy, right? Pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, we've all learned. You all know my relationship with the Course in Miracles. Yeah, I love the book very much. I never got past the first page. Complicated, way too involved, way too much time. I ain't got time for that. But I will tell you that I learned all I needed on the first page anyway, right? There's love. There's fear. Choose one, right? So right now is a situation where There's plenty of fear to be chosen. In fact, they're putting it on our plate, right? And we can choose that if we want to. But don't forget that that's a choice. Don't forget that that's a choice, and so is love. So we can make that choice. We can change this if we just choose to love. In the book of John, chapter 4, verse 18, it says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love." He's basically confirming everything we know that we learned in the Course in Miracles, that they're mutually exclusive. They can't reside in the same space at the same time. So when you're choosing fear, that's it. You're consumed with fear. When you're choosing love, you're aligning with the divine. Now, trust me, I know none of this is easy. It's easy to stand up here and talk about it. But when we leave, it's hard to do. And I promise you, somewhere along the line between now and next Sunday, there'll be a news story. It might even happen today. That is asking you to choose fear. Because again, everything that we receive comes through a filter. And that filter has an agenda. So we have to be very, very discerning about how we accept that information. We have to be complete and total independent thinkers. We have to get off any team that we might think we're on. And we have to just be loving to ourselves, be loving to others, and choose love in every situation. So the talk was called, "What is Mine to Do?" And we shifted it to, "What is mine to be?" Because I promise you that if you be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and you be kind in every environment and every situation and choose love in all those situations, that everything you do will be helpful. Everything you do will be aligned with divine source. Everything you do will matter and make a difference. So that's where I'll leave this talk. I'll do the final song during our offertory just for the sake of time. I've really enjoyed speaking with all of you today. Thank you for your attention. Blessings to all of you.